Good morning, millennials.
Welcome back to The Toast and happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's having a fabulous day. Speaking of fabulous, hey Jax, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much. So excited to be here on this Tuesday, to be joined by you and to just, get the week off and running. Yesterday was the longest Monday ever. I was looking at Olivia's story and she was like, she posted something like Monday night dinner. And I literally was writing back, Liv, it's Tuesday. And I was wrong. I was the clown. I was the fool.
It's also really like kind of an important thing to acknowledge when you're wrong. It's really hard to do, but it's so important.
So important for sure. But I let the record show I did not send the message because I double checked with my head.
No, I feel like you and I were having that conversation yesterday about like being wrong. It happens.
I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. When were we talking about that?
We were on FaceTime and I was obviously wrong about something. And I said, like, obviously it doesn't happen a lot, but I can be wrong. And it's so important to acknowledge when you're wrong. Just own it, okay?
Yes. It's coming back to me. What were you wrong about?
See, that's a thing. You're the memory girl here, not me. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure it was something moronic and inconsequential, but nevertheless, I was wrong.
Yeah. And you took ownership. And we're so proud of you for that. And that's all we can ask from our girl.
Growth.
What an ugly word.
I love that. It's literally heinous. Growth. And then wait, like growth is obviously like a beautiful thing. You want people to constantly be evolving. But it also can be like a lesion, like you have a growth on your face.
Here's the thing. Growth as a verb greater than growth as a noun.
I completely agree.
I'm glad that we've settled that today.
So first episode in LA, down pat, back for number 2. Hope everyone enjoyed the kind of change in scenery. A lot of people are saying like this glowy light behind me is like kind of stunning and that maybe we should like have that back at our house.
Get some glowy lights. Yeah, get the brand name. Just order from Amazon.
I'll just rip it off the wall and throw it in my suitcase.
Perfect. How are you liking your time in Los Angeles? How are the Los Angelinos treating you?
Well, I haven't really, honestly, interacted with that many Los Angelinos, except for the lovely people who work at Dear Media who have been just so helpful and so kind and so welcoming. Because I'm kind of like I work here now. I was here literally from like 9 to 5 yesterday. I was like the first one in this morning because we record so early. I'm kind of like the president of this company.
Are you first one in, last one out?
Kind of. And one thing about me is I never thought I would be that girl because I'm like definitely last one in, first one out kind of vibes.
But that's what happens when you have a business that you're passionate about. You would know what it's like to run a business and be the first one in, last one out.
But you don't. So it's been great. Honestly, just like so productive. Yesterday I came back. We did the toast and then I came back here because Ben and Josh were recording with some like premium guests, like lots of comedians. And I just kind of wanted to like see what was going on. And then we all went out for dinner. I went to catch like classic influencer.
Did you get paparazzi'd?
I didn't. But the last time I was at Catch, thank you for bringing that up, I was paparazzi'd. And then I spent the rest of the evening and the rest of the weekend looking for the paparazzi pictures online. And they were never uploaded because I'm sure they were like, oh, we took a picture of the wrong girl.
No, there was footage, right?
No.
They got a video.
No.
Nothing came of it.
No. Nothing came of it. I was TMZ. They were asking me about Cuba Gooding Jr., the incident. And I was like more than happy to discuss with them. Here was my line. I'm very much looking forward to justice being served.
Yeah, as she got in her car and sped away. Wait, no, yeah, like this is like a book. As she slinked into her SUV and drove down Mulholland.
And then got into a bath that simmered and burned her skin. We were at Catch like 3 years ago.
Why is it gotta burn? Why is it gotta burn though?
When we were at Catch like 3 years ago, it was during that whole Cuba Gooding Jr. thing. And when we were at, all right, let's not lie. We had
called.
I'll take responsibility. I had called.
I just want to say.
TMZ know.
At no point did we lie. We just omitted that. Like we never said, never said they recognized me. They were clamoring for me. You said like I had an interaction with paparazzi. And by the way, if you know anything about the biz, you would know that Claudia called because that's the only way they show up.
No, I'm so sorry. I was about to lie and be like, TMZ was waiting for me outside. Oh. No, bitch. Like,
well, they were.
My publicist.
Because you called them.
Yeah, my publicist at the time, I was like, I feel like I want to talk to TMZ. And she was like, sure, let me arrange that. And nevertheless, they were there. And so we were walking out of the restaurant and he was like, Claudia, can I talk to you about Cuba Gooding Jr.? And I was like, oh, okay. And it was during the time when he was on trial. And so I gave this cute little interview, and then some of the other paparazzi saw TMZ talking to me, and they were like, oh, she must be someone. So they took a bunch of pictures, and they never uploaded any of the footage. And I was like really upset.
Two things. One, thankfully we were vlogging, and you can watch the footage on our Patreon vlog of LA Week 2019. And two, now thinking back to it, and hearing you tell the story, do you think that your publicist at the time kind of just like hired someone to pretend like they were TMZ to make you think that she did her job? I'm just going to assume your publicist is she, because I've never met a male publicist. And
I have.
That's why it was never on TMZ, because it was a fake actor.
That's really definitely interesting. That's a cute conspiracy theory. I think that's great hoops to jump through, because like my publicist would have just said like TMZ ain't interested in your unrecognizable ass, and I would have been like, okay, cool. Like I understand I'm not the most famous person in the world. So I don't think she necessarily went through, all those hoops just to like satiate my ego. Maybe she did. I don't work with her anymore, but maybe I'll shoot her a text. We're on good terms, being like, hey girlie,
what's up with that? The literal job of a publicist to satiate your ego?
Like, no, actually, if you have like a good working relationship with a publicist, like if I went to a publicist and was like, I have, I want to be on the cover of Vogue, she wouldn't then be like, well, Vogue is so busy, they actually just can't fill you in. She'd be like, no, you're not big enough for Vogue. Like, not everyone. I think there are definitely some celebrities whose relationship with people on their team is like delusional, but I don't work like that with people. Like, tell me the truth. Like, what's going on?
Okay. Except you weren't asking for Vogue. You weren't asking for Vogue. No,
but like Vogue, like TMZ is like a very reputable
Vogue
institution.
To you.
Like, it's my Vogue, yeah.
But no, the thing that I like about TMZ, I used to read it like every single day, is like they would have stories about the smallest like reality stars that only I would care about, from like Are You the One? It's like there really is no one too small for TMZ and no one too big. Like they cover everything for everyone. Like if you want to read about this person, great. And if you don't have to read it. But like they really talk to the most random people.
What I like about TMZ is their articles are so normal and short. It's not like they give you an essay of the history of the person and their entire family and the most like moronic facts. Like just tell us what's going on and end the article. It's okay if the article's just 3 paragraphs.
And other publications say we're talking about Selena Gomez. So first it will be like the singer, the actor, the who says the who says singer, the only murders actress. Like they keep trying to find different ways to describe her until by the end it's like the former Alex Russo playing Wizard of Waverly Place. And it's like just call her fucking Selena. Like we don't need. It's so weird how they can't just be like, or even keep saying like the actress, the actress.
Yeah, no, it's beyond annoying.
Especially when I'm reading the stories for the show and it's like nobody cares about like what song she sang 10 years ago.
Nobody cares.
But you know what I care about?
What?
I love olives. Thanks, Selena.
Well, to bring my story full circle, I did not get paparazzi last night, which was for the best. I have never packed more incorrectly for a trip in my entire life. I don't know what I'm going to be wearing for the rest of the week. Like I'm seeing friends. Like I have not a single thing to wear. So it's for the best because I was looking turnt last night in like a sweater that didn't fit me.
Go to the mall. Like go shopping.
Like I could, but
what are you going to wear to the 49ers game?
Oh, I'm so glad you just asked because me and Ben get to San Fran this weekend like a day before the game. So I was just going to go to like the team store and like get a cute like sweatshirt or something. But this company reached out, Bro Denim. It's like the official wear of the Wags. Like they make custom hoodies, So they were like, do you want us to make you something? And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Yes, they're shipping it to my hotel in San Francisco.
Oh, thank God.
So I'm all set there. Thank God.
Maybe get something backup just in case it doesn't get there. But the idea of you just getting a sweatshirt from the team store isn't going to cut it.
No, like, have you been to those team stores? They have like such cute stuff. I mean, it's fucking expensive, but they have like bomber jackets and like really cool shirts. Like I was going to get something cool.
Oh, okay. That is cool.
I was going to get like a t-shirt that says I love Kyle Juszczyk on it. Actually.
Why not?
Yeah, right.
You know?
Maybe I was.
Well, that's cool and exciting. Glad Los Angeles is treating you well.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Like, I could never see myself living here. Everyone's always asking me that. Like, would you ever live here? No. First of all, like, to keep the toast, like, I'm waking up at the crack of motherfucking dawn just to get these episodes out. So that's not going to work for me. And it's just not it's not my vibe. I don't know. It's not for me.
Okay. I mean, I think it's just too far to even consider. But if it was like where Boston is, bye. Bye, peeps.
Yeah, I mean, you only moved like 3 hours away, so nobody else can move, right?
Did I say that?
No, it's too far. I think where you moved is too far.
Oh my God. I was sorry. I know you. I was talking about myself, if that's okay. I was saying like why I would never move to Los Angeles. You think I'm going to try and tell you what to do?
That's what it sounded like, and I was like, damn, something is off today.
No, I would never. I was saying for me, if I may.
Got it.
For me,
of course.
The way that
on your own, sis. Live your life.
The way that I feel is that Los Angeles is too far of a place for me to ever move to, though I do love the few days that I spend there at a time. And perhaps if it was as close as, say, Boston, I could consider it.
I understand, because I'm like, why the fuck does Jackie want me to live in Boston? Like, okay. Now I understand. I apologize. I'll own that one. So important to own when you're wrong. I was wrong.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And so we actually have a great show today. We have so many stories because we have two categories with a lot of subsets of stories.
Are we going to talk about Harry?
No.
Oh.
Like when you say something, I listen.
No, but like now
you would have at this point you would have to like beg for me to bring back those stories. Like you would have to say, Jax, I want to talk about Meghan and Harry today.
No, I don't. I honestly just thought like now it's at the point where it's unavoidable. Like,
no, I don't want to get chewed out again. I don't enjoy getting chewed out for my story choices. So
selections.
I heard you. And if you want to talk about them, you're going to have to let me know at this point because I'm like on notice.
No, I don't. I honestly thought you would have just like taken the reins and been like, we have to.
Nope.
Fab.
The embargo stands.
The embargo stands. I will say I did see this morning Harry on the cover of People magazine, and I really, that shocked me. Like, that's so lowbrow. It's so, up until this point, it's been like so much quantity of press, but it's still been relatively high quality, like 60 Minutes, Good Morning America. People magazine, like, my God, that's desperate. That's low.
No, the queen honestly, is rolling over.
Like, Prince Harry should never be on the cover of the same magazine as like Cody from Sister Wives, you know?
No, and it's like William and Kate are on the cover of People, like not by choice, and like Harry,
they just put them on there.
Yeah, like that's cool when you're on the cover, just like they're talking about you, not talking with you. Oof.
No, it was a People exclusive.
Oof, and there's conspiracies that he made them Photoshop some more hair on his head because he's looking quite hairy.
You know what? Harry is looking quite hairless. I agree. I feel like we're all so like bent out over William's balding when at the end of the day, William has actually embraced it completely. Like he could have gotten plugs. He is going to be fully bald in the next few years. He's owning the shit out of it. People roast him for it. And Harry's over here like very like thinning out balding. He's younger than William. He's going to be in the same spot as William in a few years. So let's all keep that in mind.
Yeah. Balding doesn't bother me like in general, especially like for men. Like
me neither.
I don't notice it. I feel like people who like call it out are like mean. And
agreed.
I don't care if William's balding or Harry's balding. Like it's not how I see them.
No, I agree. I don't think I think balding for men, like same for women, like aging and like there are things that like plague women as they get older. Like I think a lot of women, you know, gain weight during menopause. It's like things that they actively try to avoid. And for men, like the one thing is balding and it's not even that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's like it's not a big deal, but it's like all those things that you described for women, like no one would ever discuss those things who's like not the National Enquirer, you know, like no one with like
right you
know, scruples would ever be like,
call it out.
She has more wrinkles today. So it's just so like true. Mean to do it to men about their baldness.
I completely agree, and I also don't think it's that big of a deal. Like Ben does have an egg head, and it's something like it's one of his like biggest insecurities, the shape of his head. So if he were ever to be bald, like his egg head would be like really pronounced, and that's why he fears baldness. But his dad has like really long, thick hair, so I think Ben might be okay.
But you could say to Ben, like, you have a wonderful shaped head. Everyone would be lucky to see it in its bald beauty.
Or I could say this, which I would like to say. Crack an egg on your head, let the yolk drip down, let the yolk drip down, let the yolk drip. Crack an egg on your head, let the yolk drip down, let the yolk drip down, let the yolk drip down. Squeeze oranges on your shoulders, let the juice drip down, let the juice drip down, let the juice. Why were we always doing that shit in camp?
Because it gives you the chills. Now you've got the chills.
Now you've got the shiveries.
There's nothing better than the chills. Nothing.
A chill train at camp, like we all turn around and give each other chills, and then like we turn around and give the other person chills, give and receive. So amazing. I loved getting chills. I hated giving chills.
I give myself chills all the time. Like when I can't sleep, I notice it's something I've done since I was a kid. Like I'm always like will pick one arm up and give myself chills and then like try and fall back asleep.
But like, where did these limericks come from? Crack an egg on your head. There was like so many of those things. It was all in camp, like little handshakes, and it was just these things that everyone, Reese's Pieces, 7-Up, mess with me, I'll mess you up.
It's just traditions.
Yeah, passed down through generations.
Yeah, of campers and counselors. Also, that's like the toast. Like, where do all our little jigs come from? You know, and then they get passed down to the next generation of toasters. So it's just that camper spirit.
I could not have said it better myself, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We were just talking about, before you cracked an egg on Ben's egg-shaped head.
Harry.
No, what I was going to say something about Ben's head.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Which is that
on Ben's head?
There's always hair plugs.
Right. I've heard that the trip back from the flights from Turkey to New York are filled with men with like head wraps on. Like they have bandages and their noses and their teeth and their heads. So there's always turkey.
Yeah. There's always Turkish hair plugs.
Very cheap. It's very cheap. It's high quality. I actually know a few people, I'm not going to say who, but I know a few people who've taken the trip to Turkey and come back looking quite handsome.
Would you say it's top quality fabric?
I would say it's top quality fabric. That's actually exactly what I would say.
Great. Well, speaking of top quality fabric, we have so many Bravo stories today that I'm like very much into. And we should get into them because this is going to be a very long episode. I think in total we have like 8 or 9 stories. So
good.
I might even cut out one. I might do like 4 big categories.
Jackie, the toast is a painting and you are the painter. So
yeah, I'll see how we're doing. Without further ado, here are the fast 5 stories that you need to know. Could be 4. I'll let you know. It's also kind of technically 8 or 9.
The fast 5 stories that you need to know that could be actually 8 or 9 are brought to you by Perfect Bar. Your New Year's resolution to eat healthier should be enjoyable, right? So why not snack on something that's nutritious and delicious this year? Perfect Bar has you covered with their lineup of fresh from the fridge protein bars. Made with freshly ground nut butter, organic honey, and 20 organic superfoods, Perfect Bar has a variety of products like protein bars and little snack size bars too that are all so good and good for you. You are sure to find something you love. My favorite is the dark chocolate chip peanut butter with sea salt Perfect Bar, because honestly, dark chocolate with sea salt is crack. I don't know who invented it, but it's actually crack. It's so good and I'm obsessed. It's a perfect go-to snack. You know, I'm running around here being fabulous in LA, meetings, podcast. I have 2 snack size Perfect Bars in my purse and they've kept me full throughout the day, so I'm not like crashing and like getting that hunger fatigue where I just can't perform my best.
Also, on days where we have 8 or 9 stories and these episodes are so long, I actually wish that I brought a little Perfect Bar snack bar up here because that's what I need to power me through the episodes.
So the texture of the bars are like a cookie dough texture. It's creamy, it's full of flavor, and they're packed with 6 grams of protein and 150 calories, so a little bit goes a long way. Perfect Bar knows that it'll be love at first bite, so for a limited time, they're offering you a chance to try their refrigerated protein bars for free. Here's how it works. Sign up for email or text and upload a picture of your receipt from your local grocery store, and they'll reimburse you for the cost of 1 bar directly into your Venmo or PayPal account. So many of you guys have message me that you've done it and it's been like so fabulous to get like a free snack, so I love that for you. It's not too late to do it yet. All you have to do is go to perfectsnacks.com/toast, get a free Perfect Bar today. That's perfectsnacks.com/toast to get a free Perfect Bar today. Happy snacking. You can grab one after a workout or a quick bite while you're out holiday shopping, and you can feel good about what you're snacking on.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
First story, Page 6 is exclusively revealing that Beyonce planned a collaboration with Britney Spears, but it fell through. Beyonce almost broke the internet again. The music superstar asked Britney Spears to appear in a new music video, but the collaboration ultimately did not come to fruition, multiple sources tell Page Six exclusively. It is unclear why the plan fell through. Reps for the singers did not respond to their requests for comment. I found this story to be like one extremely random and like said who? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where does this come from?
Well, no, and it's not like reasons for the collab falling through are unknown. Like, they're pretty known. Like, just look at what's going on.
And it's like, it's not like we knew that there was a collab coming and now it's falling through. It's like, just to let us know that something that we had no idea about actually isn't happening. It's just like fucking weird. But I also think the idea that they would collab is weird.
I think so too. I was thinking the same thing. Like, it's a collab that actually makes no sense.
Like, if this is all true, let's just operate under that premise. Like, that's extremely generous of Beyonce to want to do that with Britney, but like, I don't think that it's, I mean, just have her appear in a music video, like, that's fine. What could happen? That's highly edited. It's not like they're working on a song together or performing together, but I just feel like
it feels random.
Britney's not really working, like, Beyonce works at an extremely high level. Like, what would they do together?
No, and I have to imagine that every single person in the industry at the highest level is wanting to work with Britney, whether it's singing or interviews or documentary. And I don't think she's interested. I don't think she is wanting to do any of that. Like, I think it's nice to have everyone interested, but she's clearly, her priorities are not to be famous and work as much as she can right now. I don't know what her priorities are, but they're not that.
Her priority is not working. It's never going to be. I also feel like we all witnessed the Free Britney movement, like everyone in the industry wanting to work with her, not Beyonce, like the agents and the book publishers and the TV people, like all of them wanting to work with her is very much against the spirit of the Free Britney movement. Like, we freed Britney so that she could like literally do nothing for the rest of her life and just like be with her husband and be with her kids and go to Hawaii and do whatever she wants. Like, if we wanted Britney to be working the way that she was working, then that's what she was doing before.
Yeah.
Though there, of course, is a level of work where it's like, you know, you're not doing a Vegas residency every single night versus just doing nothing in Hawaii for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Free Britney movement, like, she just needs time to herself, like a long time.
Yeah, and the discourse on Britney online, like, has actually really started to bother me. I think like the digital movement around Britney and when it came to her conservatorship was so powerful and like actually made a difference. And now it's taking like a really annoying turn. People, you know, decoding her Instagram, you know, look at this, it's photoshopped, and look at this, she's wearing red and yellow means help. It's so moronic. And I think people just need to get used to the idea that Britney's deeply unwell. She's coming off of a 10-year period where she was like put on medication against her will, and it's not like she was put on Advil, she was put on lithium. Like, she is not well. Like, she's gonna be putting out shit that's fucking weird and concerning because she is mentally unwell. So let's not like decode it and go save her and show up to her house like Sam is trying to kill her. Stop. Like, she's just unwell. Like, let's just accept that at face value for what it is.
Yes, agreed. Which is why she should not have to work and just be able to whatever, dance in her living room and post these
and be weird
and post these ravings on Instagram.
Yeah, and I also think like people in the industry, like, and I'm not saying this about Beyonce because like I know a million people have reached out, I'm sure, and like wanted to work with her. People need to let her be. Like, the Elton John song was really good, and it was nice to like have her singing again. But I don't think this is going to be the beginning of an illustrious career for this isn't the second coming of Britney Spears.
Yes, I agree. And I don't really believe this Beyonce story, but it's just weird and random.
I mean, I kind of do believe it because Beyonce's music videos are like these long works of art, and like she has so many like random people in it. So I could see her being like, yeah, let's throw Britney in there. Like, why not? I don't think it probably ever got to a stage like that it was even remotely confirmed. It was just like an idea on a whiteboard.
Okay. It never left the ideation phase.
Right. But no, now somebody at Page Six heard about it and is like making it into a thing when it's not.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay. Well, moving on to our next story, which is a subset of stories, and it's oh my gosh. Oh, it's the Vanderpump Rules trailer. The iPad started playing the Vanderpump Rules trailer, which is our first story of the day. Pump Rules trailer dropped, and it looks unfucking real. There's so much going on. Obviously, Tom and Katie are getting divorced. They're going through stages of like, being great friends and former partners and then like being at each other's throats. Tom Schwartz and Raquel did hook up. They have footage of them kissing. Raquel's also making out with Garcelle's son. Sheena's getting married. Lala's single, talking about her new life. She's crying about, things that people say that Randall has done. It looks so good. I was shocked by how much it had me in a chokehold. Plus, like, Schwartz and Sandy's is crumbling.
Yep.
I'm shook to the core.
I was shook too, honestly, because Vanderpump Rules, first of all, has been off the air for like 2 years now. Who cares? But so much weirdly has happened, and I do think this could be the second coming of Vanderpump Rules. Like, they've been, on this downward spiral for like 2-3 years, but this trailer sounds very promising. And I know a trailer is like supposed to sound promising. So we hold out hope, but it does look very good, especially like the Tom and Raquel. That's like kind of like a crazy ass thing. I ship, but then it looks like Raquel's kind of in her season of singledom, like meeting people. So it's not like they're getting into a relationship, but then she's also kind of having a mental breakdown, and the cast members are saying that she's not okay. So she's obviously going through something. James has a new girlfriend who's on the scene. But what I also found was interesting is the new cast photos out, and it's usually like the cast members that you know and love and like everyone else who's even spoken one word on the show. This cast photo is just the mains. They've really like trimmed it back. So who's the main?
Let me find the photo. I forget who posted it.
Like, is Charlie main?
No, I didn't see her. And James's girlfriend, now that I think about it, actually looks like Charlie. Maybe Lala posted it this morning. No, but right, exactly. Like someone, like Peter's not in the cast photo, even though he always is. I think Raquel goes on a date with Peter in the trailer too.
Oh my God, Peter is just like being kept on staff to go on a date with someone every 5 years.
Yeah. I can't believe he's still single. Okay, here's the picture. Raquel, Sheena, Ariana, Tom Sandoval, Lisa, Tom Schwartz, James, Lala, Katie.
Good.
No, Brock. No, you know what I mean? Like,
good.
So even though he's on the show, their wedding is on the show, and he's clearly a character. Like, they did the opposite of what they always do, which is like putting everyone in that promo picture and in that promo scene. And instead, they're like, these are the cast members that we're focusing on.
Good. It was too much of an ensemble for the last few years when they were like merging this new generation and the old generation. It was like Danica. It was just too many people. So the concept of them whittling it down, I think, is actually really good. And not everyone's partner needs to be a full-time cast member. Brock, James's new girlfriend. Like, not everyone's boyfriend needs to be like the star.
Yes. You know? Yes, I agree. Just plugging in my computer charger.
Sorry, take your time.
Sorry, my computer charger. I do agree. And it also just kind of draws a line in the sand, because the last few years things were really wishy-washy. Like, are we going to go with the varsity team? Are we going to go with JV? And it's like, they've made a choice. Right. And I personally, I love a choice in general. I love when you've made a choice, and I feel as though this was the right choice. So I have like a renewed interest in Vanderpump Rules in a big way.
No, me too. The trailer was definitely trailing. It was giving what it was meant to be given. Like, it was creating hype. I don't know if it'll fall flat compared to the actual season, but it looks very good, and it was a very good trailer, and I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited about it. Also, yesterday we literally were talking about the Randall thing, and it sounds like at the end of the trailer when Lala's talking about like how she's freaking out if she doesn't know what people are accusing Randall of to be true, if she's referring to that, if she's referring to just the infidelity, like, it seemed cryptic.
Yeah, it did. And timely. So the show premieres. When does the show premiere? That's a great question. I thought I saw. I don't know. Hopefully soon. I hate long teasers.
Yeah. Me too. I'm ready for Vanderpump Rules. Like, maybe it's because I'm like in my LA era, but like, it's the vibe.
You are in your LA era.
Yeah.
Okay. More Bravo news. Page 6 is also reporting that Kathryn Dennis has not been asked back to Southern Charm for the first time in 8 seasons. Kathryn has reportedly been fired from the show after starring on it for 8 seasons. A source told the U.S. Sun on Monday that her contract was not renewed for season 9 due to several no-shows and her behavior towards staff. She said, quote, I know Bravo didn't offer her a contract, but when you treat people poorly like she has, they finally get sick of it. She doesn't show up on time or show up at all during filming a lot. As Southern Charm fans will recall, her screen time on the show began declining after her breakup with Caleb. Quote, she treats people like they are beneath her. She can't stand anyone doing better or getting more attention than her. Okay, this seems like someone with an axe to grind.
Personal vendetta.
You don't know like what Kathryn thinks or feels, but as a viewer, I can say that I think her schedule and her timing, she's just like a late person. She's someone who like makes last minute decisions. She also has 2 kids. So like sometimes things come up. She can't go to everything. I imagine that part is frustrating where it's like, we're no longer going to be on Kathryn time.
Yeah, no, I could see a world in which she like doesn't prioritize filming, is late to everything, like wastes people time. I could totally see that being the truth.
But as far as like she doesn't care about others and she doesn't want anyone having more attention than her, calm down. First of all, if she was really that awful, she wouldn't have been on for 8 seasons. Like that speaks for itself. When there were so many other times she could have been fired, and when people were calling for her to be fired, she like kind of weathered all those storms, and now she's being fired. So I'm just gonna put that one on ice. And 2, the idea that she doesn't want people having more shine than her. I've actually never seen a cast member not want to be on a show so much. Like
more.
Literally all Kathryn.
By the way,
all Kathryn has to do on the show, all she has to do on the show is show up, and she's the main character. Like everyone's always talking about Kathryn, like everything's about Kathryn, and she actually doesn't even do that. And even when it is about her, she doesn't want it to be about her. Like she's the only female who's been on for since the beginning, and like she doesn't even act like she's the OG. Like it's like she doesn't like the attention.
This article is contradictory because those 2 things cannot be true. She never films, but she doesn't want other people to be more airtime than her. Well, how can that be true?
Right. If she wanted all the attention, she would never miss a cash trip. She would never miss a dinner. She would never miss a drink.
She'd show up to everything early.
Right. But that's not her. She just is herself, and people are interested in her and like gravitate towards her. And she's just someone who like, some people, as you said, are the main character. The thing is, she's not always the main character because she's not always present.
Right. I don't know if I feel like she's like definitely like always the main character. I feel like at one point she definitely was. I found a lot of her behavior last season to be like truly abysmal. I mean, it makes for great television, but I can imagine she's definitely could be nightmarish to work with.
Yeah. I think everyone could see that, but I think there's also a really soft side of her because people on the show, like they do really love her. She's had these friendships for a long time. They care about her. And like Craig, who's always our barometer for who's good and who's bad, like he loves Kathryn. And I feel like she's just trying her best.
No, and that's all we can ask from people, honestly.
So this asshole who gave all the quotes to the Sun also continued to say...
sounds like somebody who like had beef with her in middle school, like holding on to such a grudge and like a personal vendetta. It sounds personal.
They went on to claim that Bravo even brought in a new producer to, quote, handle her behavior. Quote, I know she's had money issues and now I don't know how she's going to work. She's never had a job. I'm worried for her, but maybe this is a wake-up call.
Jesus Christ, like calm down. Honestly, like I'm surprised this person, in order to like sound believable, didn't scale back a little bit on what's clearly like a very personal gripe they have with Kathryn.
I would also say like being on the show for 8 seasons is a job. So she's had at least one.
I would say the same. And never forget when she worked at that department store.
True. Gwen's,
yeah. You know, at Brian's house in Pennsylvania, in the attic, there is a ghost. Like the woman who lived there, the house is like from the 1700s, and the woman who lived there in the 1700s and who died in the attic, her name was Guinevere.
R.I.P. Rip.
All right, rip Guinevere.
Rip Guinevere. And again, I'm with all of these stories today, I'm just like, I don't necessarily believe the veracity, but
yeah,
I'm taking it, you know, I'm just going to go along with the media narrative.
A dose of skepticism.
And I'll say that if this is true, I will be missing Kathryn on the show, especially because it's always sad when a show's been on for a long time and then an OG goes, because at this point, only Shep and Craig will be OGs left.
Right. I do think that this similarly to Vanderpump Rules, this really is an ensemble cast, and I don't think one person leaving can really make or break it. And if there was, I don't think that person is Kathryn. I really think Southern Charm is special in the way that, like, there's not one major star. Like, I feel like for Vanderpump Rules for a while, it was like the Stassi show. So, like, her leaving, like, definitely impacted the show in a major way. And I feel like with Southern Charm, like, they really all are. Everyone has a favorite. There's not, like, one person. Maybe for a while it was Shep, but, like, everything comes and goes and it ebbs and it flows. And I don't think even an OG leaving would really impact the show that much.
No, not at all. And every season, it's a new story that we're focused on, like a new couple. I don't even know what it's going to be next season. It might be Taylor, Shep's ex, who's, you know, now single, and the whole country is rooting for her.
Yeah, and Tom Schwartz.
And Tom Schwartz, who she said she wanted to be set up with.
Right.
Okay, great. Are you ready for our next story?
Yes. Is this third story?
Third Bravo story. So we're still in the second story.
We're still in the second subset. Well, if I may, just to very quickly tell you that the Bravo subset is brought to you by Kitsch. They say that hair care is the new skincare, but there is one brand that has taken it to the next level, and that's Kitsch. A cult-like following, they've created game-changing essentials that beauty enthusiasts swear by. From satin pillowcases to time-saving towels, Kitsch knows that hair care doesn't stop in the shower. They offer game-changing, time-saving beauty essentials for hair, skin, and body. Whatever your budget, your skin type, your hair type, Kitsch believes that you deserve little indulgences at affordable prices morning, noon, and night. They were started in 2010 and they started selling their hair ties door to door, just a hustle and a dream. They are now self-funded, female-founded, and carried in over 20,000 retail locations. Kitsch's bestsellers include satin pillowcases, caps, and eye masks. So the satin is vegan, it's cruelty-free, and it's so good for your hair. If you're not sleeping with like satin accessories, you will wake up with a rat's nest. That took me way too long to understand. And now that I'm at a hotel and like I don't have my products with me, my hair is actually crazy. I have to do like a full blowout in the morning. Whereas if I just go to bed with a satin pillowcase, I wake up with like fresh hair that I just have to like comb. They also offer shampoo and conditioner bars, part of Bottle Free Beauty. They have heatless satin curling rollers, so you can say goodbye to heat damage. They are TikTok videos of people throwing away their $600 curlers for this. Don't forget their classic hair ties and scrunchies. Kitsch is offering you 30% off your entire order when you go to mykitsch.com/toast. That's right, 30% off anything and everything at mykitsch, mykitsch.com/toast. So one more time, that's mykitsch.com/toast for 30% off your order. Start taking care of your hair because your hair is the frame of the face. And if like me, it's also the security blanket of your face, you're going to want to take good care of it so that it's around for years to come. And you don't have to take a trip to Turkey.
Kitsch greater than Turkey.
Turkey. Message of today's lesson.
Are you ready for our next story, which is just story 2, subset 3?
Yes.
Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 4 cast announced. They are going to Marrakech, and here who is joining. That wasn't English. Caroline
is joining.
Caroline Manzo, Real Housewives of New Jersey. Alex McCord of Real Housewives of New York City.
Pause. I cannot put into words. Whoever was responsible for this has my undying love and devotion. Not only that Alex McCord is making a return to the franchise, but that she's going to Morocco where she was accused of being a buffalo coming down the stairs. So next level, iconic. Even Louis Vuitton makes mistakes. I have not been excited about something in Housewives, like in the realm of the Housewives, for many, many months. And Alex McCord is out here reinvigorating my spirit. I love this queen, Johan and Francois's mom. I recently rewatched the first couple of seasons of New York Housewives during the pandemic. And I have to say, like, the way we were so mean to Alex McCord simply because she lived in Brooklyn, like, I stand this queen till the day I die. And now she's living her best life being a psychologist in Australia. And I cannot wait to see that bitch in Morocco.
Yeah, I feel like everyone who's on the cast, and there are some big names here that I will read. I think everyone who's joining thinks that they are the biggest name. Some of them could make the argument for themselves, but without question, Alex McCord being on this is the biggest get for Peacock, period.
Yep. Period. End of story. Agreed.
Eva Marcel and Phaedra Parks from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Brandi Glanville and Camille Grammer from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and Vicky Gumbelson and Gretchen Rossi from Real Housewives of Orange County.
Okay, now, correct me if I'm wrong because I only watched 5 minutes of the dreadful Berkshires.
Eva, Phaedra, Brandi, and Vicky were all in the Berkshires, and now they're doing another season of Girls Trip.
Thank you. I mean, if I got cast on Ultimate Girls Trip and I had to go to Massachusetts and other women were going to like Thailand and Morocco and Turks and Caicos, like I'd be pissed too. So I'm glad they're getting a second chance because it ain't fair. But life isn't fair. So I'm glad they're getting a second chance. But I was confused. I'm like, why does this sound like hella repetitive?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they performed well on that season. You know what's so crazy is like the Thailand,
kind of nice.
The Thailand one. I didn't hear a thing about it. Like, I think it aired already. Did it?
No.
Oh, no. Okay, so maybe that's why I haven't heard about it.
Wait. No.
I feel like it was announced so long ago, like it has to have already come out.
No, that's an amazing question because why would they announce season 4?
Right?
RHUGT season 3. No way did it come out and we heard nothing about it.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong.
It didn't come out.
Okay, I'm wrong. So important.
Okay, you're wrong. Thank God. I was like, oh my God. So important to acknowledge when you're wrong, Jax.
Okay, but they filmed that so long ago. I feel like I've seen so many pictures of like Heather Gay in Thailand.
Yeah.
And when does it come out?
I don't know. That's an amazing question. And I hate to announce season 4 when season 3 hasn't even come out yet.
Right. Like, do you guys deserve a season 4 even? By the way,
now you're making me think like maybe it didn't.
No, I feel like it definitely didn't because I look at Page 6 every day and like even when the Berkshire was happening and I wasn't watching, like I saw headlines.
It's scheduled to premiere in 2023.
Okay, so it didn't come out yet.
No, it did not come out yet. But I will say, I did think it was weird. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I don't. That like 4 of these women have already been on a show together. But it's kind of nice that like now
there's
it adds
history
because it's like
you and me
who don't know each other.
Got a whole lot of history. No.
Okay, it goes like this.
Oh God.
You and me got a whole lot of history. We could be the greatest team that the world has ever seen. You and me. I love that song. Thank you for bringing that back to our attention. And yes, it adds another layer. It's a group of women who like who don't know each other, and some of them who do.
That's the importance of history.
History 101. Importance
of history is incredibly
relationships.
No, is incredibly important. Period.
100%. That's such a valuable thing you've just said.
Yeah. I think, and people don't realize it. They're all about the future. They're all about thinking about the future.
Now we actually sound like one of those like inspirational podcasts that like actually don't say sentences that have any actual meaning.
No, stop. Let's do a bit that we can make into a reel that would be like one of those podcasts, not like for our reels, but just so that like then people think, oh, maybe this is a podcast I could go to get some of that nonsense, you know?
Okay, hold on. So I feel like it's really important to always be intentional with what you do, because once you feel like super intentional and intentive with your body, it'll change your life. Like I've noticed a visible shift in my intentions.
That's so true that you said that. And I feel like for me, when I want to set intentions, it's so important to look to the past in order to see the future. And you can see the future through the lens of the past. And what we've been given in the present is a gift.
Wow. I'm actually like, I'm getting emotional because when I went through my journey, I discovered that too, you know, how important the past is, but also not to forget about the present. And of course, you know, the future can really help you be intentional.
But without that understanding of the past and the present, we have no future, and the children have no future.
Nothing. And you know what I believe? I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. That's literally Jenna Maroney. Like, whenever I sing that song, I feel like Jenna Maroney.
Who sings that song?
Jenna Maroney.
Right. Okay. So it makes sense that you think like that. Okay. I think when we post that reel, like, we're going to get so many new listeners.
Yeah, who are going to come to this podcast looking for, like, intentional wellness, and they're going to find, like, 2 fucking brain-dead morons being like, Bryce and Strice.
No, but that's a podcast that sounds like a real podcast.
No, like, sometimes I'll see clips of like people who do like really like like I don't even know what the genre is, who just do like podcasts about like
nonsense podcast jargon.
And
NPJ.
I'm like, this is a sentence that's not sentencing. Like, it makes not one iota of sense.
Yeah, that to
and
me...
people will comment and be like, so true. What?
No, that's one of my biggest pet peeves in life are people, and maybe that's why I wasn't cut out for the corporate world, people who say sentences that don't say anything. And maybe like they say a paragraph, and within that paragraph, there's like one thing I can thread through. But like every sentence matters.
I completely agree.
So that's who's on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip season 4.
It sounds good, mostly because of Alex McCord, honestly. The rest are just like, sure, great. I mean, Camille Grammer is kind of a great get, too.
The rest are supporting characters to Alex McCord's main character energy. I agree. Camille Grammer would have been the main character of this season if not for Alex McCord signing up.
And I'm actually really looking forward to like seeing what Alex McCord is like. I think we definitely caught her at a unique time in her life. I know like her kids are grown now. She's like gotten her education. She's probably really different because she was like so fucking desperate on the early days of New York, like could not get arrested, just wanted to be invited places. And it was like the one thing people would not give her was an invitation, mostly because she lived in Brooklyn. So I would like to see like how she's matured.
100%. 100%. Are you ready for our next story?
Yeah.
Which is a bit of cancel culture news because Chris Harrison. Is this what you thought I was going to say?
No, I was just ready. I'm preparing myself for like a hot take on cancel culture.
No, you could sit down. Like it's just about Chris Harrison is launched his podcast called The Most Dramatic Podcast Ever with Chris Harrison, and he dropped the first 2 episodes, and honestly, from what I've seen, he's spilling the tea. He talks about how he lost 20 pounds and was scared to death amid the Bachelor Controversy Fallout. So I'm going to read all the details, some of the quotes that he shared, because like he's naming some names. He's speaking out for the first time about the controversy that led to his abrupt exit from Bachelor Nation. He said, quote, "I was heartbroken. I was gutted. I was embarrassed. I was mad at myself. I was disappointed in myself. The last thing in the world I would ever want to do was to be an agent of anything negative, whether it had to do with race or anything." He also revealed the personal toll that the controversy took on him after decades of hosting the ABC franchise. Quote, "Things spun out of control for a number of reasons, and I was sick to my stomach. I lost 20 pounds. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I was scared to death. It was just one gut punch after the other, and mentally and physically, I deteriorated pretty bad." He admitted that during the interview, he was not his normal eloquent self. Quote, "I didn't express myself like I normally do. I think that part we all agree on. But as far as my standing in the community and the show, it really didn't register on the Richter scale. There were so many more egregious things going on in the world and things that had happened." He said, though, that his apology was warranted because he did misstep and he did make a mistake. He said during the fallout, he recalled certain cast members campaigning to take over his hosting duties. He said that Nick Viall no doubt wanted to take his job. This is what he said. Quote, "Nick wasn't really strongly against me or said anything, but I think Nick was one of those among many who probably saw the blood in the water. He saw the opportunity of a job that would be really phenomenal, and no doubt he wanted that job." He noted that in addition to Nick, there were plenty of other stars from the franchise who seemingly used his exit for their benefit. He said, quote, "It helped them with their 15 minutes of fame." He was definitely not shocked by their behavior. He said, "It's the people that you would expect. I knew about certain cast members that were calling in. It was hilarious. And the funny thing is the people that were calling in, like asking for the job," he said, quote, "I knew had no chance to get the job." Meanwhile, other Bachelor Nation stars, including Sean and Catherine Lowe, Lauren and Ari Leindike, Andy Dorfman, and Ben Higgins, reached out to Chris privately and showed their support for him following the controversial exit. He also specifically applauded Wells Adams as being one of the first to reach out. However, he told Chris at the time that he was going to stay out of the drama due to his recurring bartending gig on Bachelor in Paradise and his future within the franchise. Chris said, "I appreciated him because if anybody had sights on the job, it was easily Wells." And deservedly so, by the way. I thought, to be completely candid, that Wells was going to get the job. I thought it was the easiest call. He's in the family. Everybody loves him. It just seemed like a layup. The Wells did not get the job. Jesse Palmer got it.
Jesse Palmer. Wow. Okay. It's just funny how, like, for so long, you know, Chris Harrison was above all this. Like, he had the greatest job in the world. There was so much infighting within Bachelor Nation, like drama, and he was never a part of it. He had the best job. He'd show up for an hour, go home, and make $1 million. Now he's just like the rest of us, getting on podcasts, dropping names. I find the Nick Viall thing to be the most interesting. And it's clear there's beef there. I don't even remember Nick Viall being so vocal during that scandal.
Chris didn't say he was vocal. Chris said if actually he wasn't vocal at all, but like he said no doubt that Nick was kind of like positioning himself for the job, probably in not being vocal and not like taking a hard stance and just like positioning himself as a good choice for it. And he would have been, like, as far as the people in Bachelor Nation who are talking heads, he would definitely be on the short list right there with Wells because he is a professional commentator now.
And did Chris say anything about his standing with Rachel?
Not in the quotes that I saw, but it is a 2-episode... Well,
actually, Rachel Lindsay and Rachel Kirkconnell.
It's a 2-episode podcast. It could be in there. I didn't listen to the episodes. These were some of the pull quotes that made it out. Okay. But, you know, and maybe that's just the juiciest parts of it, but I don't know, 2 episodes and you're finally mentioning it all. I would imagine that there's more within these episodes that's worth listening to.
I agree. If you really care, like, I'm so out of Bachelor world. Like, I find this juicy, but not enough to like care and sit down and listen. I feel like even before the Chris Harrison thing, the show was on its way down, and then that whole scandal just really kind of spiraled it even further into oblivion.
Yeah, I would say that was the beginning. That was the end.
Yeah, I don't think it was the beginning of the end. I think it had already begun, and then that was really like the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, oh my God. I saw a headline the other day naming the new Bachelor, and it was the first time that I didn't recognize the name, the face, the person, anything. Like, because usually it's like someone from the previous season who I've been seeing in headlines. So I'm like, okay, Gabby, Rachel. I never saw this man in my life or heard of his name.
It's so crazy. There was a time when it was the biggest show, when even just being associated with it would make you, you know, give you a career. It was so powerful, and it felt like it would be that way forever.
Yeah, but nothing lasts forever, McClurd.
No, but I thought The Bachelor would, honestly.
Yeah. Well, so now I wonder what his angle on podcasting is going to be. I really don't think he can like be sitting down with Bachelor people. I think that would be a major step down to go from like being the king of Bachelor Nation to, you know, just another court jester.
But like, why would his podcast title reference the show? Like,
well, I think it's just like it's visibility for him, and he could turn it to be having dramatic interviews with, I don't know, horse race owners, because like he used to do broadcasting for horse races.
He did?
Yeah, that's what he did before The Bachelor.
I thought you were going to say he could have sit down interviews with whores.
That too, and that would also be an extremely dramatic podcast.
That would be, you know, I guess it could just be like a dramatic interview series. It's not always going to be about The Bachelor.
But he needs to find an angle. He can't just be like a podcaster who commentates on pop culture, because like at one point he was pop culture. Like, but I think he is a very good interviewer, talking head, broadcaster. Yeah. And he needs to find what his thing is. Maybe Chris Harrison has like interests, and maybe he'll be, you know, the #1 like fishing podcast where it's like very dramatic, talking about like all these different catches.
No, I could definitely see it becoming a podcast about fishing. That's an amazing point.
So I think he really needs to do a 180 and find a niche for himself.
Me too, but I also appreciate him taking the first 2 episodes to like, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Of course.
What's going on? Give us the tea.
But then maybe now we're going to do a podcast about elephants and what's going on in the elephant community.
I mean, if you haven't seen the documentary An Apology to Elephants, like, please, it's less than an hour. It's so short, and it's the best documentary on the planet.
It could become some sort of true crime interview podcast where he talks to victims of crime.
Perhaps. It could be anything. The world is his oyster.
It could become a podcast where I feel like people have tried to do this, but I can't think of one that's won out, where he talks to canceled people.
That actually would be an interesting podcast. I would love to be on the episode.
Yeah, I think that someone should do that podcast.
Yeah, that's actually a really good call. Like, you just go through their whole scandal and like break it down.
Yeah. Exclusively cancel people, but then there would be other better titles for that podcast. But I guess it would again be a dramatic podcast.
Yeah. No, that's good. The possibilities are endless for Chris. We're wishing him well in the podcasting sphere. You know, we enjoy it here. We hope you like it here. Welcome.
Welcome, 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 welcome to the podcast sphere.
Bum, bum.
Are you ready for our next story?
Yeah.
Should it be our final?
Tell me the last two stories and I'll tell you if we should just choose one or both.
4. Ashley Simpson Ross talks the nerve-wracking moment she played music for her mother-in-law, Diana Ross.
Okay.
Right? It's like, could go.
What's the fifth?
5th. Gwyneth Paltrow recalls the wild 90s party scene and how she was doing cocaine and not getting caught.
That one.
Skip to it.
For sure.
Gwyneth Paltrow joined James Corden on The Late Late Show with James Corden, and she admitted there was a time when she wasn't such a health and wellness guru like she is now, and she was surrounded by such unhealthy influences. She was on the show promoting her 4-part Audible series, The Goop Pursuit, while this year's Golden Globe nominee Hilary Swank was discussing Alaska Daily. Corden said, "You both came up in the 90s, which is having quite the renaissance at the moment. The fashion, the music.
Right.
What was it like for both of you being so famous at a time when there was no social media, no nothing? What do you remember about that time?" She said, Gwyneth, "It was great. I mean, talk about doing cocaine and not getting caught. Like, you could just be at a bar and be like having fun, dance on a table. You could, no camera phones, especially in New York, interestingly enough. There were no paparazzi. You could stumble out of a bar and go home with some rando and no one would know."
Well, honestly, I do often think about how, like, being famous is obviously great. I do think this is, like, the worst time ever to be famous. Like, there's really never been more of, like, a lack of privacy for people. And, like, because of phones and everything, but also celebrity culture has gotten so fucked that people have no boundaries anymore. Like, people have really lost their marbles. So I do often think about how, like, back in the day, like Judy Garland, she like left her house 4 times a year and like was raking in the dough. But I also think, like, before the cell phones and like kind of in like maybe like the flip phone era, very much like early 90s, I think that was probably like the most iconic time to be famous.
Yeah, but I also feel like even though celebrities don't have privacy these days, they have a way of doing their thing. And you know, you don't see a video every day of a celebrity doing cocaine, but like celebrities do cocaine.
No, for sure. No, there's a way to do cocaine and not get caught. I completely agree. But what I'm saying, I'm not talking about just cocaine. I'm talking about like just celebrity life in right now. Like, I think our culture is probably the most it's ever been obsessed with celebrities, and like, I don't know, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does. And I also think, you know, the way that we engage with celebrities, it makes the whole experience like more transient, and your time is up even faster. There's someone new who's going to come up. But it's like anything else, there's pros and cons. So that would be a con of like internet culture. But a pro is that anybody can get famous. And like, even though people who have the resources and the access have a leg up, everyone has, you know, access to YouTube. Like Justin Bieber is famous because of YouTube. Like,
no, you're 100% right. There's definitely pros and cons. I think another pro of like the digital space, while it is so toxic, is there's so much money to be made. So many celebrities who don't even like do like they make more money on their like moronic Instagrams than they do from like acting.
Right.
No, totally. There's definitely benefits, but I think maybe it's because it's in the past and you look back on things fondly and like through a nostalgic lens, but it does feel like being famous in the 90s was probably so much more fun.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the 90s were just fun. We were like 5 and 6, but we were having a ball.
Yeah, no, but like now when you look back on that, like those, like the club era, and it really everyone was like just doing drugs, like it looks fun.
Yeah, but you also had like enough technology to make your life simpler. Like you had a cell phone, but it just made calls, you know, but you could communicate with the next person. Videos. Like, where's the next party? But it doesn't, you know, also hold your hand while you're taking a shit, like, and wipe your ass for you.
100%. Exactly. Like and I think that's what Gwyneth was saying. And she really like her like old photos, when you look back on them, like it's just so iconic.
Yeah. Also, it's like you could call up for delivery and get delivery to your door, but you didn't have Uber Eats where it's like 2 seconds, so simple.
No, so you really had like the same like accessibility to stuff, but just not the same like level of accessibility.
Yeah, which is too much accessibility.
I agree. No, it does feel like to be like an actual like major celebrity these days, like I do feel like there's probably a lot of parts of it that are extremely annoying, like the lack of privacy, the way like your fan culture has become so toxic and so invasive, and a lot of that has to do with the internet. I think there's a lot of things about being famous in this day and age that like stink.
Yeah, it reminds me. Did you see that video of Bad Bunny? What he was with a fan,
Yes.
like a fan was like following him, not following him, just like
Shoving her phone.
walking with his entourage in Dominican Republic, and then she like comes up to him, shoves her phone in his face to like take a selfie or FaceTime, whatever, and he grabbed it and he chucked it.
I loved every minute of that. Like, people deserve privacy. People deserve personal space. And if you're not gonna respect that, fuck around and find out. And she did. She found
Literally.
She found her phone in the bush.
Yeah, she found her phone in the bush, and now she can tell everyone that Bad Bunny threw my phone. There, you got your story.
I was obsessed with that moment. Like, no, yeah, fans, you should respect your fans. They gave you your career, yada, yada, yada. People deserve personal space. And if you can't respect that, your phone's going in the bush.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's not like she sent a meet and greet. Like,
yeah, no, he's literally just walking like a human being. Like, the way we've just put these celebrities on a pedestal to the point where they're not human beings anymore, and we feel like we can grab them and touch them inappropriately. Like, it's beyond. We are not okay.
no.
But that, as always, is the takeaway from every episode of The Toast. People are not okay. And as long as you keep that in mind, I think you'll do well in this life. I really do.
And just, know that and try not to be a part of the problem as best as you can.
Yes,
and then the more people who listen to The Toast, the less people who are part of the problem. Hence, world peace.
By the way, just following up on a story from yesterday about the Dawgs and the Frawgs. The Dawgs won, and apparently like they won by like 50 points, and all these people who flew to LA to see their Texas Christian University Frawgs play like kind of wasted their time.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it was exciting. They were called like the horny-toaded frogs or something like that. The toast, something. Horned frogs.
Horned frogs.
Yeah, fucking weird. I'm sure I've never heard of TCU and the Horned Frogs, so I imagine that they are not in the national championships often. So it was probably like exciting to just go to a championship.
Yeah.
Even though they fucking wipe the court with you.
Yeah, the Dawgs wipe the floor with the Frawgs, and I live in New York.
You know what should have been the theme song of the national championship?
Do tell.
You ain't nothing but a dog player. I
get it.
Frog player. I get it.
I completely agree.
So that's just a free marketing idea for the next time TCU goes up against Georgia Dawgs.
Wishing well to all of our Tennessee Central University students and fans.
But I'm happy for you guys that you made it to the championship. Like, imagine if Colgate made it to the championship, you wouldn't see me complaining that we didn't win.
Right. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
Yeah, it brought the community together. It was very exciting for all of you, and you should be grateful.
It centralized the Tennessee Central University community.
Yeah, because people don't know about Tennessee Central. You think it would be in like Central Tennessee, but it's not.
Right. Right. You'd think it would be centrally Tennessean.
But it's pretty it's kind of borders the border.
Yeah. It's kind of like not central. I think that's our cue to end this episode. So, without further ado, thank you so much for listening to The Toast, the Millennial Morning Show, where we deliver the fast 5 stories that you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. We're also available as a podcast anywhere podcasts can be found. So that's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iHeartRadio, CastBox, all the places. So, wherever you listen to podcasts, find us, The Toast, leave a 5-star review about how wickedly talented and centrally Tennessean we are. Hope you guys have an incroyable Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow for Hump Day. Love you guys. Bye.
Love ya. Bye.